rise of the creative.
What's going on, guys? It's your girl, Slayss, here with the Rise of the Creative podcast for another Talk to Me Tuesday. Today, we are creating that inner voice. And as always, we always start with a nice creative quote. And today's quote is, "The inner voice has both gentleness and clarity." So to get to the authenticity, you really keep going down to the bone, to the honesty and the inevitability of something. When I was starting out on this new job, I felt so much anxiety trying to prove myself in this new space. It was work that I've done before, but I would catch myself speaking so negatively, and I felt so unworthy of the position. One day in the midst of a stressful task, I remember that I prayed for this job. I literally asked God to remove me from an old toxic work environment, and I was sitting in the job of my manifestation. I was more than qualified to be there and was just feeling overwhelmed because I was trying to prove myself so desperately. My proof that I belonged there was the fact that I got the job. I couldn't even see the blessing in what I asked for because I was so conditioned and waiting for something bad to happen. Vocalizing our dreams and manifestations comes with speaking gentler to yourself. The anxiety you hear is simply an inner voice trying to protect you from trauma and hurt and negativity, but that weighs you down and it makes you relive it twice. I had to learn to speak gentler to myself, as if I was speaking to the younger Ashley. How would the child version of you respond to the way you speak to yourself now? Sometimes that means conditioning a new way of communicating because we weren't exactly taught the best way to speak to ourselves. My first line of motivation is the inner voice reminding me of how far I've come. I always keep into perspective where I used to be and how grateful I am to be in this space presently. Even when I want to complain, I first think about how things could have been different. Then I look at my past work and maybe even how I would have handled a situation and reflect on where I am now. The consistency of my work and the work that I'm doing on myself keeps me motivated to want to go harder. This is a word for somebody because I know it's a word for me. You've been listening to the Rise of the Creative podcast with your girl, Slayss. Until next time.
The rise of the creative.
Wait, what about now?
All right. Maybe the next show.